And you want to sing it?
No, you should sing it.
All right, we all know the song from the Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Learning to Fly. Because we're learning to fly, because I just got wings. Well, now you can actually do it with flight lessons offered at Brainard Airport in Hartford.
Yeah, it's through a program offered by Learn to Fly Connecticut. And if you ever thought, I would really like to learn to fly a plane, then these lessons are for you.
I recently went up in a Sessna to take a lesson, and I'm happy to report I did just great. I'm still here. Take a look. Aren't they just beautiful? These wonderful flying machines that take us high in the sky? I'd like you to meet Phil Smith. He's the chief flight instructor here at Learn to Fly Connecticut at Hartford's Brainard Airport.
So over here we have a Cessna 172, and then we have a Cherokee 6, a Piper Cherokee 6, another Piper aircraft, a King Air.
Do a lot of people own planes, or is it something?
Not generally. Generally, around the United States, only about 1% of the U.S. population is a certificated pilot.
A certificate? Is that true?
Correct.
Only 1%?
1%, yes.
Would you like to be one of the 1%? You can learn to fly right here at Brainard Airport with the Learn to Fly CT program.
We're offering an introductory flight lesson as a gift for the better holidays. It includes up to 45 minutes of flight time with one of our flight instructors. You'll be flying the plane on the first flight lesson, on the first actual lesson.
On the first what?
Lesson.
Seriously?
Correct.
Like if I showed up today, Scott Haney,
Yes,
I would be able to fly the plane on my first lesson?
absolutely.
Without any experience?
Correct. You'll go up with an instructor, and the instructor will take the plane off and land the plane, but during the cruise portion of the flight, the instructor will actually give you the controls, and you can manipulate the controls of the aircraft.
Well, let's do it. Phil has the plane towed out, and we head on over.
All right, so I'm about to get in the plane. Does the plane have a name?
9725 Quebec.
9725 Quebec. I'm about to get in the plane. I'm getting in the pilot's seat, apparently, with this 1975 plane, and I'm going to give it a shot. It's my first lesson.
Yes, Phil lets me sit in the pilot's seat. After many checks, and I mean many,
Clear the area. Clear!
we start moving ahead.
And you can see this is one of the things that really throws people for a loop when they first start learning to fly, is I'm not doing anything with my hands. It's all in my feet.
Oh, it's your feet.
Yep, I'm using the rudder pedal to actually control the aircraft.
I see.
We stop and do even more checks.
All right, the next thing we're going to do, so before we get airborne, we always do a pre-flight check on the actual aircraft itself, on the airframe.
Okay.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a run-up checklist, and we're making sure that the engine is airworthy and good to go before we actually get up in the air.
Okay.
Everything checks out. The engine starts to roar, and before you know it, we're headed down the runway into the open sky. What a feeling!
Never thought I'd be in the plane on my first day.
Phil offers to let me fly the plane, and with his help, I'm doing it. I'm actually helping to keep this 1975 Cessna in the sky. Now, if I wanted to really fly this plane, like on my own, well, that takes some time.
You would need a minimum of 40 hours of flight training to earn your private pilot certificate. You would need to pass a written test, and you would need to pass a practical test, which involves a oral portion and a flight portion where you're actually going up and flying with the examiner.
And you're going to help me get all this?
Correct. Myself and our flight instructors here at Learn to Fly Connecticut will help you earn your pilot certificate.
And it would take how long?
Depends on, honestly, it depends on how often you schedule a lesson. If you schedule one lesson a week, you're looking at probably close to a year to finish the training. 2 to 3 lessons a week, you're looking at 4 to 6 months.
And how long is a lesson?
A lesson is generally about a 2-hour block of time. And during that 2-hour block, you'll do some ground instruction with the instructor, and then you'll actually go on a flight with the instructor as well and perform maneuvers.
It's just incredible. While it feels like we're moving at about 20 miles an hour, Phil tells us we're flying along at 105 miles an hour. I'm loving this experience, and so is Phil.
I've always loved aviation. I served in the Navy from 2008 to 2012. I worked on aircraft as an enlisted member of the U.S. Navy, and I've always dreamed about flying. Once I got off active duty in 2012, I ran into an old high school friend who was telling me about aviation and the possibilities right now with the piloting area. And I went home that night, talked to my wife, changed schools, changed majors, and I started learning to fly at the Simsbury Airport about 2 weeks later.
Although I was nervous at first, up in the sky, I'm doing just fine.
I would say the most magical thing about aviation and general aviation is being able to kind of escape your problems or your worries on the ground here, go up in the air and think about nothing else but flying not in the clouds per se, but flying up at altitude. Just being able to get away from it and relax up at altitude. It's unlike anything else you can do on the ground. You know, if you can remember the day you got your driver's license, the day you get your pilot certificate is like the day you got your driver's license, but on steroids. Because the amount of freedom that we have in the United States when it comes to general aviation is unlike anything else in the world.
Oh, that touchdown. That had me a little nervous. But again, as Phil was saying, as part of our Better Holidays, one lucky viewer is going to get the exact same chance as I had. We're giving away one free lesson with Learn to Fly Connecticut.
And, you know, if it's something you're interested in, you said about 40 hours, but you could do that over the year.
Sure.
And, yeah, take
do it
your
over
time.
2 years, whatever it takes you, however long it takes you.
To enter to win, just go to WFSB.com/contest and click the Better Holidays Sweepstakes link. The rules and more information are right there on our website.